Welcome back to the Fenway Focus. This is episode 62 of the Fenway Focus. I'm Jason. I'm here with Derek. As there's a fly ball to deep left field, and it's going, and it's sold. Jaron Duran. We'll start by talking off with him. A lot of buzz today about just stuff related to another Sox podcast, another Sox influencer. Won't go too much into details. Let's just start off with a bang and talk about Jaron Duran. So, Derek, how you doing? And what else do you want to add on?
I've obviously been on the trade Jaron Duran bandwagon for how long now? It predates this show, because I was back in the 23-24 offseason calling for them to trade Duran for Patrick Sandoval. They ended up getting Patrick Sandoval anyways, so I mean,
Oh my
yay.
gosh, Josh Naylor just got hurt.
Eugenio did too. What the? God.
What's going on?
I was gonna one of these.
He's still in the game. He's still in the game, but
just,
he's in a lot of pain. Whatever.
No. Can I just say one of the points I was going to bring up on the show if we talk about the Red Sox maybe selling is why not, or maybe buying or selling, like maybe get Eugenio Suarez. And part of my reasoning is, hey, maybe he can play first base, but also to get him so the Yankees can't get him.
Oh yeah. The Yankees' plan literally is to write out Paul Goldschmidt for 1 year and then go give a bag at Murakami when he gets
but they don't have anyone
season.
to play third outside of Jazz. And Jazz really should be playing second for them, so third base.
Because Oswaldo Cabrera has his broken leg. They have DJ LaBaby Dick Face, whatever his name is now.
Okay, this is gonna be rated E.
Rated E
for explicit. Oh, sorry, rated. Not this is gonna be not PG. It's gonna be E for explicit.
Rated E for everyone.
Everyone over the age of 8. No, it's gonna be given the E for explicit. Rated not PG. That's fine.
Rated B.
I will say on the Jaron Duran thing, I don't want to get too off topic this early in the show.
We need it off the rails. The shit we've been through this year. We need a fucking off the rails episode.
Not yet. We need it off the rails when the Bruins do something stupid after the draft.
They're changing their logo. That is stupid.
No, what's even stupider is they're going to end up trading the 7th pick for J.G. Pajot, and everyone's going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And yes, that's an actual fucking rumor that's going around. There's also a rumor Noah Dobson could be involved, but I'm not buying that. I'm just saying. Back to the Red Sox talk.
Fine. I was gonna say if they fucking trade the number set.
If they get Dobson and Pajot plus
Dobson,
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad, but I'd also be like,
lol. That'll be a lol moment of the week.
But they trade it for Pajot. That's all. Actually,
that'll be a lol moment of the month.
Yes,
or a year even.
Dude, after drafting Letourneau last year too, I said that the Bruins should just rebrand themselves instead of redoing a logo. They should just rename themselves the Boston Drafted Dean Letourneaus, because I was screaming from the rooftops. Take Cole Hudson. What did they do? Not take Cole Hudson. Where did he end up? Washington. Because they need any more good prospects. Besides the point, back to Jaron Duran. This is already way off the rails. But back to Jaron Duran. I've been on the bandwagon for him to be traded for a long time. Santa Rafael has higher OPS than him. And that is, if you would have told me that, as much as I love Santa Rafaela, if you would have told me that at the end of last year, Rafaela was going to have a higher OPS near the end of June in 2025 than Jaron Duran, I would have told you no way. And that's where we are right now, right? And Duran has not played good defense either, right? And so it's definitely and also too, when you have Roman Anthony, who really should be playing left field, it's not that he can't play right field, but he's probably not suited great for right field. I do think Roman Anthony could play center field fine, but you have Cedar Rafaela there, so nobody's playing center field if Rafaela's playing, so the only other spot is left field. And Roman Anthony would be more than serviceable in left field. And when Duran struggles, Duran's on-base percentage is low enough where I don't even think he should be the leadoff hitter at this point. And we saw against Robbie Ray, the Red Sox had him hitting 5th in the lineup. and they had Roman Anthony hitting second. I think that was very telling as well. Um, but it is, Durant also DH'd the other day. I don't know if I don't think that has anything to do with spin on field. It could also just get him a day off his feet, but still, right? Like, Duran, having the short fuse with the umpire, which to be fair, I did think it was safe too, but like,
He
it
was
doesn't
safe.
warrant
Like
you
whatever.
yelling at the
Point.
umpire. I don't know. There's just some things with Duran, and a lot of, and I do think Duran is somewhat is liked in the clubhouse, or at least it seems like he might be, but it doesn't necessarily make the world. I don't know. I think the Red Sox could be a better team if they traded Duran and brought in young pieces to help them win, not just now, but in the future as well. And I'm not saying for them to sell, but you roll with Roman, Cedon, and Willier in the outfield. You have Ref Snyder can come in for Willier and platoon with Willier. It seems like Meyer's probably going to move to second base when Bregman's ready. You still have Story at short. You can, the first base, Romy, Toro, that's fine. Christian Campbell might end up in that mix. He seems he's going to get work at first base in Worcester. And Narvaez's been great behind the plate. So I don't, and obviously Yoshida at some point might be coming back as well. And if that's the case, I'm not saying Duran won't have a place to play. They will find a way to get Duran in the lineup if he's on the big league roster, but you might be taking playing time away from someone else. And if you can use Duran and go get yourself a pitcher, a la Andrew Painter, and I said this on the Pesky Report on the minor league show, I'm going to speak it into existence. I'm going to LeVar Ball my way into the Red Sox getting Andrew Painter. I'm going to say it enough that it's going to happen. Just like Lonzo to the Lakers at 2 in that draft. LeVar Ball said it so much it ended up happening. And that's what I'm banking on. I speak it into existence. The Red Sox trade Durant for Andrew Painter. But even if not, even if it's like Mick Abel plus pieces, or hell, it might be a different team. It might not be the Phillies, although the Phillies seem like a perfect fit. But it might not be the Phillies. It could be someone else. But trade Durant for young, controllable pitching plus piece, or young, controllable pitcher who's at least solid or a very highly touted prospect plus pieces. Make yourself better for the future in terms of the pitching side of things, but also too, it frees up playing time for other guys who are still good baseball players. And I think Masataka Yoshida would be a perfect fit for what the Red Sox need right now, because they could use someone like Yoshida who doesn't strikes out a lot, puts the ball in play. Yes, he's gonna have his fair share of grounders to the second baseman, but hey, put the ball in play. You get guys like Trevor Story, Cedon Rafaela, etc., who can run. I know Durant can run too, but this is weird. Even Meyer can run a little bit. Roman Anthony, they're not the quickest guys in the world, but they're not slow, right? Like, they have some. Bregman's not the slowest guy on earth either. Willier can run pretty well. So the Red Sox they don't really, outside of Yoshida, they're not going to have anyone who's just like slow as dirt. So, having someone like Yoshida being the slow guy, he's not going to be on base when he's hitting. Obviously, it's not possible. So, I've been on the train for a while. I would have loved to have done it this past offseason because I thought you really could have gotten a nice package for him. Obviously, it's not happening now, at least in terms of you're not going to get that same level of package. No, they're not going to get the level of package they would have gotten this offseason, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but still,
But yes, they can still get a very good package.
Exactly. And I think there's a little bit more desperation now opposed to maybe the offseason. Who knows? Maybe some team would offer more than they probably would have in the offseason. But it could also be the same argument can be made the opposite way around. And like we always say, Duran's best tool is his speed, and he's 28 years old. He'll be 29 next year. When he hits free agency, he'll be 30 in his 30s. So you have to have the conversation and say to yourselves, how long can this be sustained? Because he's old. And when you said when you look at this logjam, it is June 23rd, and Cedon Rafaela, more than enough, like plenty of sample, right? This is a great sample size. June 23rd, how many games? Almost halfway through your season, and Cedon Rafaela has a higher OPS than Jarren Duran. Jarren Duran's not even in the leadoff spot against lefties anymore. He got slotted to 5. I wouldn't say how bad he is. That's just, it goes to show he's just not as good as he once was, which teams can look at. And Alex Cora loves to bring in Rob Refsnyder, Romy Gonzalez against lefties, right? And if they're mashing, he's going to want them at the top of the order. And he views Duran as blocking that production from those guys who can be in the top of the order against a lefty. So in terms of the logjam, a month ago, we probably would have said Rafael was the odd one out. Or
Also,
heck,
no, Rafael is hitting sixth tonight.
And he's hitting, he's hitting sixth. If he continues to hit,
he might be the leadoff hitter if he continues.
Oh my god! Against a lefty, I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, I would. They would.
Well, no, because if Refsnyder gets dealt at the deadline, if they sell,
okay, that's separate conversation.
That's a whole other conversation. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, then even Rome, there's a case for Romy. Whatever.
Romy might be getting sold if they sell at the deadline, though.
Not really. I mean, the biggest difference is Refsnyder's a veteran. Romy
still has control left, but still.
Romy has control. Heck, he has an option, and he's solid. And he has term. So, but back to the point. The writers and all the insiders seem to think that the Red Sox are going to trade Duran because he's number one on the Athletics trade list of most likely to be dealt at the deadline. He's number one. Heck, not even top 10, number one, not just top 10, number one. Isn't that crazy? Number one. So there's something we all clearly don't know. What is it? Do the Red Sox, is it the same people who said Devers was going to get dealt? Because you have to remember, Ken Rosenthal said it is not far-fetched with the idea that the Red Sox could trade Rafael Devers. And lo and behold, they traded Rafael Devers. Now I'm not saying it was him, but now they're saying, oh, he's most likely to be traded at the deadline. I am waiting for the moment he gets traded. I think there was a poll on Twitter today.
Yes.
There was a poll on Twitter today that said, is Jarren Duran still on this team after the deadline? Or after July 30th, whatever the deadline is?
31st, I think.
30% of people said yes. 70 said no. The overwhelming majority of people don't think, these are fans, by the way, don't think that he's going to be on this team. And is it malpractice that they're one game above 500 and half a game out of a wild card spot? Not really, in my opinion, because right now
Anthony's been 10 times better.
Exactly.
Even though his numbers aren't even earth-shattering right now, his average is
all the models.
But with the 111 average, he looks 10 times better than Duran.
We know the Red Sox.
270.
Yes, and we know the Red Sox love. We know the Red Sox love their models, and the models say go trade Devers. In the return.
I don't know if it's just a model saying trade Devers. It seems like there was just a lot of.
Well, no. I mean more so for the return. It's an underwater contract. You're getting value back. The models say do it. You're getting Kyle Harrison, Jordan Hicks' contract. Oh, and James Tibbs and Brian Bayo's long lost cousin. Just
Jose Bayo, who made his FCL debut today. Actually,
yeah, I saw that. He was solid. Yeah.
So shout out.
2 walks?
Shout out Jose Bayo.
Yeah,
but yeah, no. I think this Duran situation is going to resolve itself sooner rather than later. I think they can trade Duran, but still relatively buy at the deadline. And I'm not saying even the walk the fence 50-50 thing. I think they could trade Duran for pitching and then go out and still bring in a bat, a middle of the order bat, right? Because Roman Anthony's been hitting leadoff in the minor leagues basically for the last 2 years. There's no reason Roman Anthony can't be the leadoff hitter in the big leagues. There's no reason he can't.
I've been saying that too.
And when Bregman comes back, you go Roman, Bregman. Bregman maybe slides into the 2 spot, maybe, right? Maybe not. We'll see how the lineup shakes out, right? Maybe Bregman's in the 3 spot, however it gets figured out, but they'll figure it out somehow. But if you go get another bat, maybe that other bat's in the 3 spot. Maybe it's Roman, Bregman, whoever the 3 hitter is. And then you can kind of mix in the rest between guys like Willier, Story, Marcelo Meyer, Carlos Narvaez, who's been hitting really high in the lineup, even though I do think he probably needs to be dropped a little bit. Um, you know, like they can mix and match after the 3 spot and figure it out. But right now, what's really hurting them is you have, Duran's also shot on top of the lineup, which isn't helpful. But even if, like yesterday, they scored, 5 runs? With Rob Refsnyder and Romy Gonzalez hitting first and third. Was it Carlos Narvaez hitting fourth? Nothing against those guys, right? Because Refsnyder and Romy have been really good against lefties, so nothing against them. But a playoff team also doesn't have those guys hitting first and third in their lineups, regardless of the circumstances. They just don't. They just don't. On a playoff team, maybe Refsnyder hits 5th and Romy hits 6th, or Refsnyder hits 5th and Romy hits 7th, or something like that, right? The Red Sox have a chance where if you trade Duran, maybe, like I said, it's Roman, Bregman, a bat, and then maybe Story's in the 4 hole, maybe it's someone else, and then it's, against lefties, maybe you throw Refsnyder in the 5 spot, right?
Well, the good thing with the good thing
Yoshida
with the DH
even.
spot, they're gonna platoon him. Like nothing.
But he platoons with Refsnyder though, so it works perfectly.
Yay! We get to platoon Masataka Yoshida.
I think they should just play Yoshida regardless and have Refsnyder platoon with Willier Abreu, but that's just my take.
I agree. No, I agree.
Yoshida, we have to remember, Yoshida when he was in Japan hit 3rd or 4th pretty much his entire career.
What if he hits
Why can't Yoshida hit? No, why can't Yoshida hit 4th here with the Red Sox?
He doesn't profile as a 4-hitter.
So what?
And the Red Sox, honestly, they've had a really they sucked in the 4 spot this year too.
But here's the thing: if you have, let's say, Roman Anthony hitting leadoff, or let's say even if it's Duran, Bregman, Roman 1, 2, 3, or it's they trade Duran, bring in a bat, and it's Romy, Bregman, and whoever they bring in as a bat, to play first base in the 3 hole. Why can't Yoshida hit 4th? Those guys get on base. Who's good at putting the ball in play? Yoshida. And at the very least can move them over? Masataka Yoshida, right?
He won't strike out, but he'll put it in play.
Exactly, right? And I'm not saying he's not your prototypical 4-hitter, but Shohei Ohtani's not your prototypical leadoff hitter, and he's hitting leadoff for the
Kyle
Dodgers.
Schwarber
is not your he's not your prototypical leadoff hitter. What has he been doing?
Although they haven't been leading him off. But that's a
no, I know, but what has he been doing for a decent amount the last 4 years? 5 years at this point, right? Doing the whole prototypical guy for this lineup spot isn't a real thing because Dustin Pedroia used to be the prototypical number 2 hitter, right? That doesn't exist anymore. It just doesn't. I used to always, in my head, think, guys like Dustin Pedroia, Derek Jeter, those kind of guys who aren't going to have a ton of pop, power-wise, but can still get you 10, 15, maybe even 20 homers in a good year. But they hit the ball well, put the ball in play a decent amount. I think Yoshida would almost fit that brand of a prototypical number 2 hitter, right? But that's just not a thing anymore. Teams put their best hitter second because that's going to get them the most at bats. You know where Alex Bregman hit more than any, and more, and what lineup spot Bregman hit more than any other lineup spot in 2024 with the Astros?
Number 3. Or sorry, 2.
The number 2 spot.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
So, why couldn't So this is the point I'm saying. Yoshida very well could be a 3 or 4 hitter. In all honesty, I think if they get another bat, they very well can put Yoshida in the 4 hole. I see I see it making sense because also too with Alex Cora, in my opinion, if it was up to him, he'd want to have a team that's aggressive that can put the ball in play. If you have someone like Yoshida, that you get one side of it where he can put the ball in play. If you get guys on base ahead of him, now you can be a little bit more aggressive running the bases, right? Try and stress something from first or third, or first to home on a ball in a gap, right? I feel
Mm-hmm.
that's almost more of the way a manager like Alex Cora would like to play, where like I'll use this example. The 2018 Red Sox, in terms of, yes, they had all the talent in the world, but they weren't like, let's just go station to station on the bases. Oh, it's a ball in the gap. I'm only going to go first and third. No, like, you had guys like Mookie and Jackie Riley Jr. and even Benintendi and other guys who, like, stretching
Keep
things
it.
first to home, like, first to third, second to home, like, really getting aggressive on the bases. Especially Mookie, right? And the Red Sox, like, you don't have to have elite speed to be an aggressive base runner. Trevor Story, Santa Rafaela, both can do it, right? Duran, obviously, but like even guys like Roman Anthony and Alex Bregman and this, like those guys can still you can still be aggressive with them. Yes, they're not going to do the same things on the bases as some really fast guys. They're not going to necessarily steal bases, but be aggressive on the bases. Don't like I don't want to be I don't want a Red Sox team that's going to be scared of being aggressive on the bases, and I think they have the roster where they can do it. And then you add, like I said, you add someone like Yoshida. All it takes is you stretch a guy from first to third, and then Yoshida, yeah, maybe he does roll over to the second baseman, but instead of just being a ground out, now it's an RBI ground out, right? Or he sack fly or something, or even Yoshida gets a base hit, whatever, right? And we've seen Yoshida get hot before, and how well he can play. So I'm just saying, like, they very well can still have a good lineup without Jarren Duran. How it all gets constructed, yes, that would be somewhat interesting to figure out. But you look, Roman Anthony, Alex Bregman, the third spot, they need to get a bat, regardless of if Duran's around or not. And then you can roll Yoshida in the 4 spot, maybe Story in the 5 spot, and I don't know, maybe Abreu in the 6 spot, or Meyer in the 6 spot. You figure it out between Abreu and Meyer. Maybe you want to put one of them in the 6, one in the 8 spot, and then you have Narvaez in the 7 spot, and Rafael is back in the 9 spot. Like, and that lineup is solid, right? Now Narvaez is hitting 7th instead of 3rd or 4th. Like,
So I think it's a good time to pivot now to. I mean, you just gave out the lineup, and what's being rumored, and what you just said. You said earlier too. The Red Sox need a bat at the deadline with the DH spot open. Who makes sense, and where do they fit? Because right now I'm looking at this lineup. You're getting Yoshida back. He'll be at least a platoon DH. So maybe you can get another right-handed bat. I think there's no doubt that if they're going to get a bat, it's right-handed. I think you more look
I think so.
the other hole in your lineup is backup catcher. Connor Wong is not a major league.
But that's not
catcher.
relevant though. That's not relevant though.
Why not? You're getting no
it's not
production
relevant.
out
No,
of.
it's not. No, it's not relevant in terms of whoever you get at backup catcher, you can just plug in. Like,
Well, Narvaez has never caught more than 100 games in a season. He's
that's
going
but
to
if you get a
probably
competent
wear.
backup catcher, you get a competent backup catcher. You can just plug him into that. Like, because if Narvaez is back down to like the 7th spot in the lineup, if they get a competent backup catcher, they can just slide that person in.
Well, there's no. Well, my point is more. There's not as much stress on Narvaez because Narvaez has
Oh
been
yeah, but
good.
that's why I'm saying
There's
you
no
get a
doubt.
competent. But it doesn't change the point of needing to get another bat. It doesn't like change anything. It doesn't change anything regarding
But
that.
if I know it's hard to get a good back I've been hearing Sean Murphy as a potential, which is
I'm against that.
I'm not against it, but maybe it would justify putting him at DH on a random day against a lefty.
No, I
I
don't like
don't
that
love
though.
I don't love it, but I'm not
No, you know
opposed.
why I don't like it? Your first base issue still isn't solved unless they're planning on it being Christian Campbell, which don't be totally shocked if it is Christian Campbell.
They don't have a issue at first right now.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Because
Dude, come on.
no, they do because you cannot. They don't have an issue right this second, but they have an issue in terms of it's going to be an issue most likely because you can't expect Romy and Abraham Toro to play how they've been playing throughout the rest of the season. You just can't expect it. If it happens, it's a damn good problem to have, but you would much rather go and get, you know, whoever it is. I mean, I jokingly, somewhat semi-jokingly, chuck out Eugenio Suarez because, oh, if the Red Sox get him, then the Yankees don't have him. and his pull power at Fenway would be really fun, and
I
but
don't disagree, but like if it's a month from now and they're
also he
doing
hasn't played first base.
if they're a month from now, if we're a month from now and Toro and Romy are a fine platoon. They are a fine platoon. If
That's not
they
good
are
enough to get you to
still,
the playoffs, though.
you have Christian Campbell. If he is a serviceable second or first baseman, I think they call on him. I still don't. Other than maybe Josh Naylor, who's
I
out
don't think
there at
there's an
first?
issue with totally getting. I think getting a lefty wouldn't be ideal, but you can still make it work. Yes, you'd have 5 lefties in your lineup, but you're also trading Duran. If you trade, like I'm saying, if you trade Duran and you bring in a Naylor, you didn't add any additional lefties. And you already traded
Right, but
Raffy. You
still,
already traded Raffy, so yes, Yoshida's coming back, but you traded Raffy, so you're not like you still have just as many lefties as you would have had, right? So like you could get Naylor and do the same lineup I said, and you run Roman, Bregman, Naylor, Yoshida, then Story. They'd probably put Abreu there in the 6th spot, then Narvaez, Meyer, and Rafaela in center. And then Christian Campbell can end up slotting in at some point even as well.
I
Or if
don't
someone
think the
gets
Red
injured, whatever.
Sox really off top. I really don't think the Red Sox are that thin at first base as people think.
I
Because
don't think they're
listen,
that thin. I just think that if you are truly going to buy at the deadline, that's where you have to buy because you can't get an outfielder. You can't get a
you
third
can't get an
baseman.
infielder.
You can't get a
I
shortstop.
mean, you're right, but
Can't get a second baseman because there aren't going to be any good second basemen. I don't remember when's the last time a good second baseman was traded at the deadline. Ian Kinsler. Like,
probably
when's the last time a good second baseman was traded at the trade deadline? There just
Trey
aren't that many
Turner.
good. That's a stretch. He was a shortstop in Washington. But you
And
know
he
what I'm
played second
saying?
base.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
No, yeah, I do.
there aren't many good off like really good offensive second basemen anyways. So yeah, and then also too,
Yeah,
I will. So like first base is kind of your spot because Yoshida is going to DH. And even if they platoon him, it looks like Cora's going to platoon him with Ref Snyder and then have Abreu just play right field every day, which is interesting. That means Roman Anthony would slide into left field if Duran gets traded. But then, like, if Christian Campbell's in the mix, does he get moved around? Does he play some left field? Right. It kind of becomes a little bit of a mess. But, like, first base is your only position where it's, like, as good as Romy and Abraham and Toro have been. One, they could end up platooning Meyer at second base with Romy and have Romy play some second base. Like, you can always do that. Toro can play first and third. So, like, if Bregman needs a day off or, you know, whoever you get to play first base needs a day off, or Yoshida needs a day off at DH. You can always do that with Toro. And Toro can be a bench piece because I don't think Toro's going to hit 296 the rest of the year.
he was
I
hitting
like Toro,
320. Yeah.
or whatever the number. I think I'm looking at the MLB app.
No, no, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. No,
But like
I get what you're saying.
so I'm like because there isn't an ideal place to add. There isn't there's no perfect place where it's like like for example, this isn't the 2021 team where it's like oh yeah they need a first baseman like flat out, and then they end up getting Kyle Schwarber and putting him they get a guy who's not a first baseman to play first base.
Also,
Right, but
Bobby
like
Dahlbeck started to heat up after that too, so making things
that too because
complicated.
that would
You
figure.
don't know. I mean, is
But like I'm
it
saying, there's
crazy to
no
think? Is it crazy to think that Blaze Jordan could have a factor in this too?
not this. I wish, but I don't think it'll be this year. I think if anything, that'll be next year, and I think next year he ends up being a bench piece if he
It's
doesn't get traded as a deadline. I think too with them working Campbell at first base, Blaze is gonna still see some games at third. And the Red Sox really haven't had a backup first baseman since like the Mitch Moreland Steve Pierce duo. Like that's a long time ago. That's 2019, and even then, that 2019 team stunk. It stunk compared to what they were in 2018. Um, like they were playing Franchi Cordero at first base a couple of years ago, right? Like They had to get
If
Dom
Campbell
Smith
if
last
Campbell
year.
is as bad as Frenchie Cordero was going to be, they might as well just DH him.
I don't think he will be that bad. The thing is, Campbell's actually an infielder. I know we struggled at second, but still, um, I think Campbell will be able to play first base. But I do think it'll take a little bit of time, right? He still has to learn the position, because there are things you do have to learn playing first base. It's not just people. It's not just picking up a glove and playing it like some people think. It's really not. Um, and I think that's probably part of the reason he got sent to Worcester. They want him to play first base. Uh,
You want to talk about
but like I
that?
said, real quick though, like I said, I think first base is the only clear position to add because Meyer has cemented. I feel like Meyer has kind of cemented his spot now on the team. I don't think they're not. I doubt they're sending him down.
They
Especially with
can.
how good he's been. They can't, right? Especially with how good he's been defensively. So you're going to end up with Brayman, Story, and Meyer at third, second, and third, short, and second. I would assume it's going to be Meyer at second, but God forbid, who knows? Who knows what could happen?
What in the
But that's what I'm
flying fuck
assuming.
just happened in the Red Sox game? What the
Red Sox
fuck?
are up 2-0.
It says this is what the MLB app says. Willie Abreu. It was probably like we're on in play runs for 2 minutes. Willie Abreu singles on a line drive to left fielder Taylor Ward. Abraham Toro scores. Roman Anthony scores. Trevor Story advances to third on a throwing error by left fielder Taylor Ward. That's 3-0 now. On an error, Willie Abreu out at second to pitcher Jack Kokowitz to. That's definitely not
Christian
how you
Moore.
say his name. To Christian Moore.
Kochanowicz.
Kokowitz.
Gosh. Jason. It's our second baseman, Christian Moore, 2 rounds. And hey,
Anyways,
Fernando Rafael,
yeah,
RBI single.
no. You're right. You're right. As in, if they're gonna add a bat at the deadline, first base is the clear option because we're
Yeah.
also. This is assuming you move on from Durant. Even if you don't move on, or sorry,
Even if you
this-
don't move on from
don't
Durant,
right.
that makes it so
It
first
further
base really is
complicates
the only
things.
option. If you were to add, because then you're out. You definitely can't add an outfielder. Also, John Heyman today, a couple days ago on MLB Network said the Red Sox are going to be one of the suitors for Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, John Heyman.
I did say on this show at the beginning of the year that it would be more likely the Red Sox would have higher, or it's probably.
I think
more
your
likely the Red
exact
Sox
words
sign
were
Kyle
they're.
Tucker.
It is not completely far fetched.
Yeah, it's not far fetched that the Red Sox would have better odds at getting Kyle Tucker than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And guess what? Somehow I was right. Obviously,
Not in the
Vladdy
way.
literally signed an extension, so he's literally unavailable. But
Kyle
not the
Tucker
most
will be getting
far-fetched
three
thing.
figure. He will be getting like 3 figure. Jesus Christ,
Nine
what the
figures.
9 figures. Why did I say 3?
Don't-
Just 3, whatever. He will
just
get.
thinking,
He'll
like,
he'll be
300
getting like 400, 500 million.
Yes. Well, I reason I also said it's not fetched because Duran could be traded, and then
Durant should be
Could
traded. I honestly, you're gonna you're
I
gonna
think
lose
they
a lot of
trade
the fan
Durant.
base though. I don't care
so
at this
what?
point.
You lost the fan base when
You
you
lost
traded
the fan base.
Rafi. Who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares anymore about the fan base?
I don't care.
You
I am
traded
not
away the
emotionally
fan
attached to anybody anymore.
And well, it's not even about being attached to people. Like if this isn't about being attached to people as fans or anything. Like, if I'm making the decision, so if I'm putting my shoes in myself into the shoes of Craig Breslow, if even if you cared about the fans in that position, the fans already don't care. Like, you've already lost the fans anyway since you traded Rafi. So, the fuck does it matter? You lose them more, so what? The fans aren't the one who chooses whether or not you keep your job. That's John Henry, right? And FSG, so in that sense, yeah, trade Duran. You lose the fans, so what? Plus, half the fan base doesn't even like Duran, right? At least half the fan base doesn't even like Duran. So you start kind of adding things up, and and the reason I say Kyle Tucker is not far fetched. Trade Duran, especially now. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's not the most far fetched thing. You trade Duran at the deadline, right? They could trade Willier in the offseason, and then, what position's open for Kyle Tucker?
Literally everything else.
Right field. And then you have Roman, Rafaela, Kyle Tucker. And if you miss on Kyle Tucker, you have Yassin Garcia and AAA if they don't trade him at the deadline, if they sell at the deadline. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying. I'm just spitballing. What the?
The password.
Bueller.
What did he do? Oh, Jesus Christ.
First pitch.
First pitch swinging.
So, well, good thing the Red Sox scored 3. Now Bueller's not going to give up a run the rest of the game. Just for Zach Neto just hit a homer.
Why are we making this shit so hard? Like, why do we make... I don't know. They got to get a
They
starter.
scored 3 in the first. Get the homer out of the way when there's no one on base. Get it out early. Although he's thrown 2 straight balls, so that's not ideal. Get it out of the way. But no, back to the point, though, the whole Red Sox alpha situation. I think Duran at some point, whether it's the deadline or the offseason, has to be traded. I think Duran has to be traded.
Duran should not be on this team come the trade deadline.
Well, yeah, after the trade deadline. I don't think Jarren Duran should be on this Red Sox team after the trade deadline. In all honesty, I think you can make an argument that both Jarren Duran and Wilyer Abreu will be traded in the next 6 months.
Yeah, that's another. It wouldn't. It's not far fetched.
That's a whole nother can of worms. But I'll put it this: 2 of Jarren Duran, Wilyer Abreu, and Yassin Garcia will be dealt in the next 6 months. I think that's a lot. I think that's that's close to a lock, in my opinion, because I think Duran's gone regardless. No, because if they buy at the deadline, Yassin Garcia is one of their best pieces to buy with. And if they sell and they don't, and they trade Duran,
who are you willing to trade the password for?
Pitching.
That's a pitcher. What
yes,
pitcher?
you go and get a pitcher. But that's what I'm saying, though, right?
I'm trying to think what pitcher.
Garcia
DeGrom?
plus pieces to get a young, controllable pitcher. No, I think you're looking more young, controllable pitcher. I think it's more so what you're looking at. I don't think that's a. I think you're looking at.
I'm not convinced they're getting a bat. I am not convinced they're getting a bat.
Oh, I'm not necessarily convinced either, but I'm saying
if they were, I know.
If they were to get, but
still,
even if
my point
is buying at the deadline, I'll tell you this: if they buy at the deadline, I think they get a bat, but they also get a pitcher, right? And I think Stinson is probably in the trade to get a pitcher because I think they'd more want either a younger or controllable. Doesn't have to be super, super young, but definitely a controllable arm. A guy who has at least a little bit of term left. Maybe still in their first arbitration year or something like that, right? I think that's more so what they'd be looking for. And when you consider that, I think Stinson very well is a very reasonable trade candidate. I think Willier's a trade candidate, even in that sense. But I think if they trade Wilyer in season, they don't trade Duran. I think they trade Duran at the deadline, and then I think Wilyer or Yassin Garcia are going to get dealt in December if Yassin doesn't get dealt at the deadline, because they could trade Duran.
Fuck you, Connor.
Get pitching. Hell, they could even trade Garcia and get pitching, and then they don't have to rush Garcia. Garcia is on the 40-man though, so they don't necessarily have to trade him, but they could. But I think in the offseason, because I don't think you can go into next season with Anthony, Rafaela, Abreu, Garcia. Plus, is Yoshida going to try? Are they going to try and stick Yoshida in the outfield? It seems like they probably will next year, right? I just I said, I think this kind of once again comes down to too many bodies, and also too if the Red Sox truly are in on Kyle Tucker, which I don't know if they will be, but that's one of the most consistent hitters in baseball. I'm just saying. I'm not saying they will be, but. Hey, they were in on Juan Soto, so anything's possible. And would you rather have Juan Soto or Kyle Tucker? Because I'm not going to lie,
Soto.
But not by an absurd amount though. Well, especially at Fenway, when Kyle Tucker can play right field at Fenway, and Juan Soto would strictly be stuck in left field.
I'm fine with that because Juan Soto
would be too,
would feed on the monster.
Oh, he absolutely would. But what I'm saying is, Kyle Tucker though is still probably a top 10 hitter in baseball, or maybe not top 10 hitter, but I'd say top 10 most consistent hitter in baseball. Kyle Tucker just steady, consistent every single year, putting up great numbers, and I think that's that's definitely something that's you know that's worth something for sure. I was just trying to see what Kyle Tucker is. Kyle Tucker right now is eighth in the major leagues in weighted runs created plus, and he's ninth in F4. He's tied for eighth actually with Fernando Tatis Jr. Kyle Tucker is. So I'm like I said, I'm just saying like Tucker like consistently one of a top 10 hitter in baseball really over the last three years. I mean the last 5 years, 2021, 146 weighted runs created plus, 130, 140, 180, 156. I'm just saying. Um I think Kyle Tucker could play right field at Fenway, would be fine in right field at Fenway. In all honesty. So but that's besides them. But the point is basically like just because they trade Duran doesn't mean they're done solving their outfield logjam. Is what I'm saying more than anything. Like, don't be shocked. Like, I think before the start of the 2025 season, you're at like I said, at least two of the guys I mentioned, are not going to be in the Red Sox outfield anymore. I think Rafael is locked in. I think Roman Anthony's locked in. I don't think anyone else is locked in at all. Not even close to it.
And this shows that they should have solved this outfield logjam in the offseason, because now you're looking and you're saying, oh, we have Romanov, Rafaela. Yeah, we originally thought he might be super utility, but now his defensive metrics and his offensive metrics, quite frankly, are justifying him being an everyday outfielder. So what do? They shot themselves in the foot by kicking the can further down the road.
Which, in all honesty, well, okay, here's what I'll say. If Duran goes to the deadline, it's okay. But you can't hold on to Duran past the deadline, I think.
Correct.
Where it is. Like that's what I'll say. Because if you trade, yes, trading Duran in the offseason might have been a more ideal scenario, but maybe the Red Sox were never planning on Roman Anthony being on the big league roster to start opening day. And, I mean, they very well... Yeah, Christian Campbell maybe could have played some left field as needed early in the year. It seemed like they were pretty sound, him being the everyday second baseman. And then, Yoshida obviously wasn't ready, so... keeping Duran through the offseason ended up not being, the worst decision. I'm actually not, totally pressed about, that decision. I'm okay with it. But I think the time has definitely come now where it's you have to move him. You have to. There's no need for him. Which is unfortunate because he was an all-star last year and down ballot MVP vote getter. But it's just not working.
He's the all-star game MVP.
Yeah.
It sucks. But listen, I was going to say...
But also, too, hey, Brock...
Isn't he older than Rafael Devers?
Yeah. No shot, nothing against Brock Holt, but Brock Holt was an all-star for the Red Sox 1 year. So being a one-time all-star for the Red Sox doesn't...
He's the second best utility man to ever exist in the game.
I love Brock Holt, but
Fuck you, Bueller. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
you can't be hitting batters on a 1-2 count. Sorry.
Hey, this is just more credence to them trading for Andrew Painter. Trading Jarren Duran for Andrew Painter.
Ooh. Now that I could get behind.
Hell, I'd trade Duran and Willier for Andrew Painter. Screw it.
Fuck it.
Fucking Garrett Crochet, Andrew Painter, Kyle Harrison, Brian Bayo, and then one of Tanner Houck, Hunter Dobbins, Richard Fitz, and Cutter Crawford. Oh yeah, I like that. But yeah, they have to. I think the deadline's going to be very telling because they are
what direction they go to.
I think they have to full blown pick a direction. I think they either have to legitimately buy, which scares me because that makes me think they're not going to trade Duran, or they all out sell. But you sell maybe they don't sell Bregman, but you sell.
You have to
Duran.
Extend Bregman, dude.
Yeah,
they're not going to. They're not going to.
They're not going to sell Bregman. I don't see. Well, I won't say no because you don't know what you could get.
Sorry, did I say sell? I meant extend.
Yeah, I think they'll. I think they'll try to extend Bregman, or at the very least hold him through the season, right, and hope to keep him. I don't think they'll. But like, you never know. If someone comes like gives you an arm and a leg and whatever, you might have to consider it. But you sell Duran, Ref Snyder, Bueller if you can get anything.
They said
I'm
this
sure the
on
Dodgers
Section
would like
10.
him. I'm sure the
If
Dodgers would
Detroit
like
if
him.
Detroit offers
Giolito.
you straight, oh, I guess he's hurt now, but if Detroit offers you Jackson Job for Bregman 1-for-1, I know Job just got Tommy John. I say
I don't think
yes,
you
you
do it
take it in a
now. I don't know
heartbeat.
if you. I don't know if you do it now with the Tommy. The Tommy John scares is scary. It's a little bit scary. I'm not against it, but like I feel now the Tommy John you need more. I feel like it's just scary. It's just the Tommy John is scary. That's the, or like I'll put it like this though: if a team wants to swing a three-way deal and the Red Sox get Mackenzie Gore back,
Oh, you need to pay an arm and a leg for that.
but that's what I'm saying though. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but like hell, let's say you trade Bregman to Timbuktu or whatever stupid team. I don't know. You trade Bregman to whatever team, and you facilitate a three-team trade, and everyone they're going to give you from Bregman goes to the Nationals, and then you get Mackenzie Gore. Like, I'm not. That's not going to happen, but like, I'm just saying, like,
And let's
it's
be honest here. I feel like in terms of deadline, the Red Sox are going to be. They have a lot of pieces, like a lot of pieces to sell.
Chapman.
Chapman is probably the best reliever in the AL.
Yes,
I can't think of
Chapman, Duran. Like you're looking at Chapman, Duran,
Durant.
Bueller.
Durant's
If you
not
can get
really
anything,
a rental piece, but like
but you're selling him though. You're
you're
still
still
selling him to a
selling him.
contending
Yeah,
team.
Giolito even
Yeah, Bueller and Giolito, because I'm sure teams would at least like him to eat
Bueller.
innings. No, the
Someone
Dodgers would
he's
take a swing on Bueller. They have look how many starting pitcher
sure
injuries they've had. Someone will take a swing on Bueller just for the fact of him eating innings. Um, who else?
they can take Bueller, have him, just
Yeah,
have him, fucking have him. I'm fucking done.
Ref
Just have him.
Snyder.
Russ Snyder could be a, and here's the other thing: they're going to be over the tax.
Mm-hmm. Justin Wilson.
Justin Wilson.
That's a sneak. That's a sneaky good pickup for someone. That'd be a sneaky good pickup,
I feel like I'm forgetting
right?
somebody.
Um, Hendricks is just useless at this point.
Hendricks. Yeah.
There's not really anyone
I
else.
said Giolito.
Yeah, there's not really anyone else right now.
Oh my God, Bueller, you suck. Whatever. So, how you doing?
But no, I don't know. I'm trying to look at this and figure out I don't know. Like I think that's probably it. Like I'm looking
Bueller
right now.
can't get out of the first inning.
Yeah, that's nice. That's so much fun. Let's see. Bueller, Giolito, Chapman, Wilson. Do you reckon Weissert could be an option?
No.
I know he's so okay. Here's the thing with Weissert.
He hit him.
Oh my god, they've batted around. Oh my god. Injury delay. What?
Who's
I'm sure it's
injured?
for
Bueller?
I'm sure it's for
Bueller's
Neto
ego?
getting hit by a pitch. I'm sure it's for Neto getting hit by a pitch. But like where this is where you need Brian Van Bell in the bullpen to eat like 7 innings.
Who's next up in the minors? Criswell?
Nope. Uberstein, I think. Man, no, maybe Criswell.
No, Criswell.
This bitch just got called up. It's Criswell. Or Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks still needs probably a little more rehab time. Kyle Harrison, but now they want to tweak some stuff. So yeah, probably Criswell. Although Nick Birdie's on rehab, they wouldn't. That'd have to be a bullpen game though. That'd be. Houck is rehabbing.
Why is Hunter saying this is my fault?
I think Houck's going to be rehabbing. I think.
What? Why is Hunter saying this is my fault?
I don't know. Yeah, house rehabbing in Worcester, so I mean, hey, who knows? But oh my god, this is fun. This is
Whatever
so
happened to
fun.
fucking Walker Bueller? Like he said, "Oh, I just stopped doing what they're saying, went back to my old routine, and now he
No, I thought
sucks."
no. Didn't he say at that one start that he stopped doing his normal routine and went and did something different for once, and it actually worked? And then I don't know.
And then he did the same thing and got fucking shelled.
Yep.
Yay, he got out of the inning. 40 fucking pitches almost.
I don't
Um
know. I just I don't know. It's just yeah. This team is the thing is with this team that sucks so much about this Red Sox team is like on paper, if everyone like you can say this about a lot of teams, but like on paper, if everyone does maybe not even their best, but if everyone does reasonably well, right, you're going to have um you're going to have I don't know what's the way to put it. If everyone does reasonably well, you're going to have people who I lost my train of thought. This is not good. If everyone does reasonably well, this team should be a playoff team. I'll put it like that. My brain's just fried. It's 10:07. I had pesky report recording before this, so my brain is absolutely fried. But I think that's what I'm trying to say. If everyone does reasonably well on this team, Bueller isn't god awful. Giolito's just consistent, right? Like this is a playoff team if the offense is consistent, right? But they're not, and I think that's the issue.
this team sucks.
Oh, this team just, ugh. I don't know. I don't know what else there is.
I know. Our lull moment of the week.
Do we have one?
Walker Bueller? No.
Oh, great. Waka Bueller.
Honestly, what?
Well,
How?
might as
Who's
well be
next
pitching
in
like
line?
Ferris Bueller.
Leave him in fucking LA.
Ask the Dodgers for Penrod back.
Oh my god. I was thinking the exact same thing, dude.
Just ask the Dodgers for Penrod back. Be like, yo, give us Penrod back.
I'm
Let's
saying that in the pesky
go.
chat.
Yeah, just leave him in LA. Just leave him in LA and ask for Penrod. That's wild. Oh, that's so wild. But I just
Lull moment of the week. Um, uh, d-
people thinking Brian Bayo grooved Devers a ball to hit for a homer.
every player who wore the number 0 in the NBA playoffs tore their Achilles. Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, and now
Well,
Halliburton.
moment of the week, the Bruins changed their logo and made it 10 times worse. At this point, they should just do the Pooh Bear and just roll with that.
How many runs did Hout give up in his rehab start?
I
One
don't
or
know.
two?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I will look right now. How gave up. He went 1 inning, he gave up 1 run, walked 1, no strikeouts, gave up 2 hits. It's a rehab start though, so it is, take it with a grain of salt. This is. So so is this team selling or buying at the deadline? Because can I be completely honest?
Connor Wong walked? What the fuck is this pitcher doing?
He's still John David Hamilton might walk.
Christ, we're in for a shitter and a half.
Jeez. This game might be like 5 hours long. The game's gonna be 22 to 17.
In the 5th inning.
I
Christ, I
hope
have
not. I want
work
to go.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I want to go to bed at some point.
You don't have work tomorrow. I have to
Yeah, but
go
I
to
still
the
like to go to
office
bed. I have a
tomorrow.
meeting at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Cry me a river.
Hey, it could be worse. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of peeved off. My only class on Monday, Wednesdays in the fall semester is at 5 p.m. and I'm kind of peeved off about that because I have nothing to do all day, and I'm just like, damn. Now what do I do? I'm gonna be sitting there like, now what do I do? I'm be bored out of my mind all day, and then on Tuesday, Thursday, I'm actually dropping a class, so my first class won't be till 12:30. So I'm just gonna be like, what the hell do I do in the morning? But oh well, I'll figure that out eventually. Um, Low moment of the week: the Bruins are gonna fuck up their draft pick somehow.
It's
That's
lull.
my
That's
predictive
not a
low
lull
moment.
moment. That's just a given.
Oh God! It would be the real low moment of the week if the Bruins give the captaincy to like Nikita Zadorov instead of McAvoy Pasha.
Nikita
Because
Zadorov.
I could see
You're
that
the.
happening for.
They should give the captaincy to.
Morgan Geeky.
Morgan Geeky. Welcome to the
No,
captains.
no, it'll go to Elias
Andrew
Lindholm.
Peak. You are the new
Oh God,
captain.
no. Well, I mean, I don't know who's just going to be like the boring, like the basic bitch third liner. Who's like a basic bitch third liner? The issue is the Bruins don't really have any.
What do you mean they don't have any? Their whole fucking team is third liners. What are you
No, they
talking
don't have.
about?
No, they don't have any basic bitch third liners.
Yeah, because it's the Bruins.
Like they don't have like a kind of semi. Like they don't have a Nick Foligno anymore. They don't have any like basic bitch veteran third liners.
Not yet.
Fuck off.
Not yet. I
Yeah,
really
no,
thought
because they're about to
Jonathan Taves.
trade their
I
second
thought
pick for
Jonathan
JJ
Taves was going to be a
Pageau.
Bruin. Oh,
Absolutely
go.
not.
Oh, I would kill myself if that happened.
If it's Dobson, if Dobson's involved, like the rumor is, I'm not totally pissed off, but I wouldn't be happy. But the rumor is the Islanders might also trade up to like might trade for three or the third or fourth pick instead
Yay, because they
because they
need
want
more
to take
fucking
Schaefer
draft.
and Higgins won't be at 7 because I'm assuming the Flyers would take him if he's at 6. Oh, Mark Kastelik, there you go. There's a captain.
Yeah, they just extend. What about Pavel Zacha?
No, he's not a basic bitch third liner. He's at least a second liner. Who's gonna end
Oh,
up playing
Jacob
first
Lauko.
line?
There you go. There you go.
No, he's not a third liner. He's a fourth liner.
Who was used as a third liner.
Yeah, because they sucked balls. No, the real thing is Jonas Korpisalo is going to end up being the captain, but he's a goalie, so he can't be the captain. So they're just going to run 3 alternates. The issue is they don't have Charlie Coyle anymore. Charlie Coyle would have been the perfect basic bitch third liner.
Casey Middlestat.
Also, Trent Frederick getting 8 years from the Oilers is absurd.
Wasn't it like 8 years, 4 per?
It's the range that it's been given is 3.5 to 4 million. It hasn't been confirmed yet.
That's insane.
Oh, it definitely is, but I have an inkling.
Get ready to
play him on
learn
the first line
buyout
with
in
McDavid.
year 4.
No, my inkling is they're going to play him on the first line with McDavid. They wouldn't give him 4 million. And McDavid likes playing with power forwards. McDavid had a interview when he was in junior hockey, and they asked him who's the one NHL player you want as a line mate. This is in 2014, mind you, but guess who he said?
Trent Frederick.
Milan Lucic.
They did sign him.
Yes, and it was miserable. But to be fair, that was when Neil Cheese
Fuck
was
you,
like,
David Hamilton. How do
that's
you
when
get
Neil
thrown out
Cheese
by
was the
Travis
best.
d'Arnaud?
Oh God.
Wait, how do you get thrown out by Travis
I'm not gonna
d'Arnaud?
lie, watching Red Sox games on MLB Game Day is arguably way more fun than just watching the actual games because now you're
Why?
trying to
Because you
figure
know
out
the
how to.
outcome?
No, because you're trying to figure out how the hell stuff happened, like David Hamilton getting thrown out by Travis d'Arnaud, because there's no way that should happen. And then you don't have to see up the absolute nukes that Walker Bueller's giving up.
So, what pitcher's coming in for
One
Bueller
probably.
then?
Probably Bueller's probably still pitching. Bueller's probably going to go like 4 innings. Watch. Bueller's not going to give up a run the next 3 innings, and he's going to be done after 4 and like 97 pitches. Watch it. Also, can the Bruins just sign Mitch Marner just to be hilarious? I don't
I
even
heard the
want him that
blue.
much.
I saw something. I don't know how reliable it is. They're gonna offer him like 7 years for like 14 per.
Who?
The Blue Jackets.
Blue Jackets? Yeah, that doesn't shock me.
Or 12 per.
That's reliable. I saw that too. I saw that multiple places. Also Vegas is going to be in on Marner. How, I don't know.
They've been in on Marner for the past 3 years.
But they have no cap space, but like they're gonna figure it out, I guess.
They'll fucking figure it out. They'll put Mark Stone on pre-LTIR.
Pre-LTIR. Oh,
too much sex in the off season. You have a testicular contusion. There you go. There's the excuse.
Hey, you know who had more injuries down there than playoff appearances?
Who?
You know what teams had as many injuries down there
I said who?
as playoff appearances? The Seattle Mariners.
Rated E for everybody.
Rated E for everyone, but only if you're over the age of 18.
Please, okay, that's the new title. That's the new title. Rated E for everyone.
E for everyone. Under 18. We're gonna title this episode "Going Sold." E for everyone. Under 18. No, over 18. Under 18. Jeez Louise.
E for estrogen.
Oh, God. I think Jaron Duran would. I don't know if Jaron Duran would like that.
Rated E for tennis racket.
Rated E for a racket. Rated R for rackets.
Rated, no, I can't.
Rated teen for teenus racket.
Shut up. Rated R for racket.
Oh, God. Oh. With that,
rated D for Jaron D. Ran.
D for D's nuts.
Fuck you. Okay.
Dennis racket. Dennis racket. What happened to the saying if you need an oar? Like, why not that? Like, you couldn't hit that one even if you had an oar.
You couldn't have hit that with an oar.
Like, come on.
Like, you don't say that. You say, if I were a broadcaster, I would have said, wow, swing and a miss by Jaron Duran. He couldn't have hit that one with a tennis racket.
I would not.
You genuinely might get like fucking fired, but it would be so worth it for the
I know someone
reaction.
who can say that.
What the hell does that mean?
I know someone who could say that on the broadcast.
Dave O'Brien?
No, our Castellanos Homer guy, whatever the hell his name is.
Oh my god, what the hell is going on outside? Who I think it was like Justin MLB said like a while back that during his arbitration, Craig Breslow was like dressed up in like a Roger Federer cosplay.
Hey, Durant might have. I actually shouldn't say this, but I was
Don't.
going to say he might have been spanked too many times with the tennis racket.
Okay.
Hey, I got spanked by multiple things, and I have like scar. Like anytime I see a belt, I get scared.
Probably deservingly so.
That is not true. Although I never got soap in the mouth. I heard some people who got like that happened to. Like, or I heard someone like in my elementary school got hot sauce in their mouth as a punishment. But then that's the day they found out they liked hot sauce.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Um. So Jaron Duran,
Yeah.
is he going to be? Is he going to be on the Red Sox by the time of our
No.
next episode?
Oh yeah.
Is he going to be on the Red Sox? No. Okay.
Is he going to be on the no? Unless it's going to be he's on the bench in the weight room, because then the answer is probably yes. I'd like to know the ratio of time Jaron Duran spends in the weight room compared to the time he spends in a batting cage.
Did you see the thing that? Did you see the thing that Duran said he can't wear tank tops at the gym because Rollis Chapman's there now?
That's
Talk about
nice.
talk about a PR nightmare. Like the rumored Ozuna stuff. Imagine the
Oh,
Red
that would
Sox
have been
get him.
hilarious. I wouldn't like it, but it would have been
Having him
hilarious.
and Chapman on the same team.
Ozuna, Chapman, and tennis racket.
Ozuna from the Braves. Who else would you trade for? Trade for O'Neal Cruz.
No.
Fill them all.
They're,
Julio
what's
Urias,
it?
you deserve a second chance.
No. He had a second chance. He'd be on his third chance.
You deserve a
Bro's
third
Mexican,
chance.
and he's not even playing in the Mexican League.
Wander Franco, I heard you're going
No.
to get acquitted.
No. Roberto Ozuna? Lol. Although he sucks this year in Japan.
Matt Dermody.
No.
The Red Sox are so bad at the PR shit. The whole situation with like Matt Dermody. Like I just wouldn't be surprised. Like how would they have sold like, oh, Rafael Devers was a clubhouse cancer, then you trade for Marcelo Ozuna? That will certainly go well.
Because Marcelo Ozuna hasn't been a cancer with the Braves?
Who gives a shit?
Oh, Chapman's been has been somewhat of a cancer in the past, but they supposedly did all their checks on him and felt comfortable with it. You know, felt comfortable with his recent history.
Can Kareem Hunt play baseball?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Ray. I thought you were about to say Ray Rice.
I did not say Ray Rice.
Kareem Hunt would suck though. He can never hold on to the ball.
Or his own.
I knew you were gonna make that joke because I kind of set it up perfectly, but I was gonna say if he can't hold on to the ball, how is he gonna catch it? But yeah.
Hey, Ryan Brazier, I think, still a free agent.
Okay, that's enough.